All right, guys, welcome to today's session. Today's session, we're going to take a look at our usual weekly analysis. So as you all know, I'm just going to be focusing on our three major pairs, which is gold, pound, dollar, and of course, the US 30. Okay, so I'm going to start today with gold. Currently, we are on the daily time frame, so let's just switch to the weekly. So on the weekly time frame, gold is currently posing a bearish structure. If you take a look at what is going on, you can see the structure is bearish. So let's look at this. So just if you pull in your trend line, you can see it's bearish. So market is still trending bearish. If we just decide to duplicate this, you can see market is still trending bearish. So currently price is in a bearish channel. So not until price breaks through this particular channel and before we can think of buy. So apparently this is going to be the expectation for us to start looking out for buys to this, probably this supply zone. So this is on the weekly. So let's go straight to our expectation. So this being established, you can see the structure, the lower highs that are being formed. So currently we are having an equal lows right at this point on equal highs, sorry, right at this price level on the weekly. So some of us may be referring to this as a double top. So we can see last week closed as a doji. It's a bearish doji. So the expectation on this week is for price to continue bearish. That is the price action here on gold. So let's just zoom straight up, go down to our daily, then we can give a precise outlook on this particular instrument, which is gold. So we switch to our daily. So on the daily time frame, you can see the weekly channel is still in play. So what do we have here? Now, let's start spotting our targeted areas where we probably expect price to push down to, since we have established that we are looking forward to ourselves. So this is it. Even on the daily, you can see the structure is in place. We are still having some bearish structure. The equal highs was being established at this level, and afterwards you can see what price has been doing, creating the lower highs and lower lows to give us this bearish structure. So at this point, you can see we are yet to tap this particular zone because this is where the buys actually kicked in after the rejection at 1686 area. So we are expecting price to move uh, downwards. Price is supposed to go bearish because after the establishment of this highs, which is our lower highs, you can see Thursday closed bearish, but Friday ended up closing bullish, a little bit of a bullish candle right there. So this is likely to act as a divergence to push the markets lower. So overall targets on gold will be targeting 1706 area as our last target. So first target is going to be, let's look at it. So this is going to be our first target. Our first target is going to be 1731. That is about 190 pips from current market price. Then our second target is going to be 1719 price level. Then finally we'll be exiting everything at 1706. That is if price keeps going bearish. So this week we're going to be bearish on gold until probably the structure changes. So for now, the analysis for this week is bearish. We are going to be going bearish on gold. Now, the next, which is going to be a US 30. Today, we are doing it in an unusual manner, not following any order in particular. So here we are on the daily. So first of all, let's switch to our weekly and see what the weekly time frame has for us. So on the weekly, as you can see, if you look at trend wise, we are bullish. We are still in a bullish trend. So this calls for us to take a look at our trend by bringing in our trend line. So first of all, we're going to use the all. So, all right. So this is it. We're using this as a point A, point B, and we extend it. So you can see how price broke through at this point, tried retesting, and it's still not, it couldn't retest. So now we're going to focus on the next one. So we extend this. So this acts as point A while the remaining acts as point B. So currently price has broken through that. This is a little bit of a reserve trend line. So price has broken through that, and currently a Friday close as a pin bar. Oh, sorry, last week closed as a pin bar, bullish pin bar. So with this, we're just going to switch down to our daily time frame. Remember, this is a supply zone. So let me just mark it up there for us to see. So that is our supply. So on the daily, what are we looking at? So on the daily, we are actually looking at price pushing into the supply and probably dropping from there. So let's look at this. Okay. So that is the zone. That is our supply. So as you can see, price first took off from that point, rejected on our 200 EMA, and it's pushing back up. So we are expecting a retest. You can see the accumulation right at this point. So price is currently at this accumulation phase where probably we should be expecting some down move from there. But I'll be waiting for price to tap into this supply. Then from there, we'll look at the price action. Then we can decide to sell. But on the overall on US 30, I am going to be more focused on sales. So I'm all equally bearish on US 30, except of course price breaks through this and goes higher before we can now change our bias. So with the market close as of Friday, with what we have currently, I am going to be bearish on US 30, but not like I said, I will wait for price to push into this supply. then give us some rejection before we can now go in for the sales, not neglecting our entry pattern, which of course is what we're going to be using to enter each of these analysis depending on the direction or depending on our bias. So that is it on US30. So next is our pound dollar. So what does pound dollar have for us? So you're going to look at it. So let me just take off this. This is what we used last week. Okay, so let me switch to weekly. So you can see on the weekly, this is what we used for last week. So you can see that zone had already been tapped. The demand zone we used last week has been tapped. So on the weekly, we have a similar thing like that of gold, an equal highs around that price level 1.3913 level. So we have some bearish pressure. Let's look at the structure. As you can see, there's a highs right there, a lower high. Though so far we have not gotten a lower low uh, after this particular low. So we have gotten a lower low right here. We've gotten a lower high. So this week's low could not breach the previous low. So we are still kind of in a range currently. Structure wise, you can see the candles are still kind of giving some bearish pressure, but structure wise, this particular structure has not breached the previous one. So we are just expecting price to break this structure for us to know that we are going to continue bearish. But everything being equal, looking at the price action right on this chart on the weekly, it looks bearish. It looks bearish, but we're not going to neglect the accumulation here. So on the weekly, it looks bearish. So weekly is not going to favor us in terms of directional bias. I think until this zone is broken before we can now look out for sales. For now, I would rather be looking at a lower time frame to go in for buys while waiting for this zone to break. Then we can now have a strong bias to the south side. Though if this zone is broken, you can see apparently this is just empty. So we should have some smooth drop to the downside. So I'll be a little bit slow on pound dollar because of the structure it's posing, especially on the weekly. As you can see on the daily, this is the structure we just created. This is a high. So far, let's on the daily, we have gotten a new low based off from this point. So a new low, let's look at it here. So this was low, highs. So we have another low here, lower high, right? So the expectation is for price to give us a new low. So until this is breached, I'm not going in for a sell on the daily. So if you look at the daily, you can see that sales is what price is trying to indicate to us. So like I said earlier, I'm going to be a little bit reserved on pound dollar. I don't really like the structure it's giving, especially looking at this daily, the series of range it's been forming. So I'll rather wait, be patient till when it breaks, so we wait for this particular zone to break, then we can now, at least first target cells will be the EMA. Then we're going to have this as our second target. So let's just mark out that price level. So first, that is going to be our first TP, second TP. So 1.3393, 1.3186, that is going to be our targeted area only when price breaks through the zone. Remember, this is the weekly. So this analysis can go beyond this week, and it can even get into towards the ending of next month. So ladies and gentlemen, this is my view on gold, US 30 and pound dollar. So apparently it looks like from the analysis every direction is pointing bearish. So be it as it may, this is an analysis. We are going to stick to our entry. This is an analysis, like I said. If market opens and structure changes, obviously we're just going to adapt to structure change. So, but this is based off market close and potentially where we are expecting price to push towards this coming week. So please, if you find this session educating, please help us grow this channel by liking and smashing the subscribe button. Share the content as well. Stay blessed. See you in the trading floor. Bye.